Breaking news. Ghana has officially reported South Africa to the African Union. Accra demands the issue be placed on the AU's agenda, citing xenophobic incidents. Ghana's president stressed that Africans must feel safe everywhere for unity.
On the letter of Ghana saying they are referring the matter to the AU for the mid-year review and the discussion, our position is that we have nothing to hide as South African government. We will provide, if the AU decides to put the matter on the agenda, we'll provide the report, including the facts that are related to the matter, that there are no xenophobic attacks in South Africa. There have been attacks on foreign nationals, which is unfortunate, and that law enforcement has to do their work, and we have been insistent on them doing their work, including yesterday's discussion in Cabinet. It was very clear, it was communicated to the law enforcement departments, and state security is not part of law enforcement department. So the law enforcement departments, that they must make sure that the perpetrators and instigators are brought to book, and those who attack people are brought to book.
I know the High Commission of South Africa in Ghana must be answering to us. Why South Africans living in Ghana must live in this country?
But should it be an eye for an eye?
It has to be, because this is not the first time. You see, sometimes the lady that spoke, they don't know their history. If they know the contribution of Ghana to South Africa, she wouldn't speak the way she spoke. As far back as 1960s, Kwame Nkrumah gave our money to the Isizwe, the arm wing of ANC. That money could have been used to develop Ghana. Mandela was the one that was coming to this country to collect that money. No, beyond that, there were a lot of comrades from South Africa that were using Ghanaian passports. Because at that time, we were using South African passports. It was very difficult to be traveling around to fight apartheid. We granted them passports to be traveling around the world in our name so that they can go and do business. What are we talking about? Look at the guy in the midst of 15 South Africans being humiliated.
Yeah.
We do this, and the High Commissioner, having heard from him, we said we have called the foreign minister there. She must be explaining to us why the more than 5,000 South Africans here must live comfortably. Look. This economical Ghana is held by South African businesses. They make so much money from this country.
Ghana has reported South Africa to the African Union over xenophobic attacks.
Our correspondent in Accra has the latest.
Hey, water don't pass Gary. Oh. Hey, Ghana. I don't know why I'm in love with Ghana. I'm in love with your system. I'm in love with the way you guys think. You guys are so educated. You guys think very enlightening. I like what I've been seeing on social media. So guys, if you have not seen this video, Ghana has finally carried South Africa. They've reported them to they've reported them to African Union over the maltreatment of their citizens in SA. In fact, guys, let's watch this video of what people think Ghana, how Ghana decision is, and then when we finish watching, we'll come back and talk about it. Kudos and credit goes to the original owners of this video. Let's watch.
Ghana's government has stepped up its effort to secure the safety of its citizens in South Africa, following renewed reports of xenophobic attacks targeting foreign nationals, including Ghanaians. On Thursday, the South African High Commissioner to Ghana was summoned after a video circulated online showing a Ghanaian man being harassed and intimidated in South Africa. Authorities in Accra say the incident has heightened fears among Ghanaians living there. Ghanaian officials are now calling for firm assurances from Pretoria to guarantee the safety of their nationals. DW's Eric Mawena-Ebeta reports from Accra.
Ghanaian officials say they have officially registered their protest with South African authorities over the incident. The summons of the South African envoy follows earlier discussions between Ghana's Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa and his South African counterpart Ronald Lamola. After footage of the harassment went viral, officials say the Ghanaian man seen in the video is safe and in good condition. Foreign Minister Ablakwa warned that such acts threatens Africa's long-standing push for unity and solidarity.
It is really regrettable that at this time, when we've won such a huge victory at the United Nations, the Global South has come together, all Africans people of African descent have come together. 123 countries sending a clear message against the transatlantic enslavement of our forebears, that in this modern era, we will see such hatred, such xenophobia against each other, against Africans. It is totally unacceptable, it is condemnable, and we will do everything as a government to protect our nationals and to make sure that we demand from the South African government to protect our citizens and to keep them safe, because they owe them that duty of care.
South African authorities have assured Ghana that the situation is being monitored and that measures are in place to prevent further escalation. Some Ghanaians have also shared their reactions to the incident.
Africa, we've been preaching this unity and oneness for quite a long time, and if things of this nature happen to be happening among these two countries, it doesn't help.
You have to condemn it totally, because if you also want to attack their people over there, what will happen to Africa?
They are going against their own African brothers. They are fighting against their own African brothers. How? Do you think this is the South African Nelson Mandela wanted? Is it the South African Nelson Mandela wanted? Why do you people continue to do this? See, they started this not today. And I always ask myself, I don't know what the authorities of South Africa are doing about this. I don't know what their president is doing about this. Don't they have military in the country? Are they not having police in the country? How is it that they are not able to stop this? How is it that they are not able to put a stop to this? And this act continues, this barbaric act continues to go on in South Africa. They don't have respect for the human life. South Africans don't have respect for the human lives. Because if you look at how they are treating people on the streets, how they are even treating children, they even sometimes go into schools to drive out children from the schools. They go to hospitals to pull people out from the hospitals, that if they are not South Africans, and if they are not citizens of South Africa, they should come out from the hospital. Is this not sad? Honestly, this is a worst behavior I've seen coming from an African country. I always say, it says,
So we just hear that the Ghanaian government has reported South Africa to the AU, and we expect sanctions to start flowing from that direction too. And we are seeing African countries react to these xenophobic activities, okay? And the African governments expect the South African government to act as fast as possible before things go out of hand. We have seen reaction from Botswana, we have seen reaction from Tanzania, reaction from Nigeria. Now we are seeing reaction from Ghana. Countries are reacting as the South African government remains silent, you know, when they have to act and put their citizens in order. You cannot allow citizens to act like this, and you know you have relationship, you have bilateral relationship with other countries, okay? Not acting on, you know, on this xenophobic, you know, will cause a lot to South Africa on all ends, okay? You think that South Africa doesn't have ties with other countries, or South Africans are not living in other countries, or, you know, doing businesses, you know. It's so myopic to think that South Africa doesn't have relationship with other countries, and you treat those citizens in your country as if they don't have countries, whereas there are South Africans living in their own countries. You know, it doesn't make sense. You know, so at least we should see the South African government come out and condemn this wholeheartedly. You know, I've seen some videos of the president doing that, but I think that those are old videos. We need this, because this is something that is not new. This has been happening and consecutively, and we expect the South African government to do more, because, the Ghanaian, this is the Ghanaian foreign minister and trying to make sure that they report South Africa to AU. We expect AU to act, give some sanctions, and make sure that South Africa is put in order, because this is going out of hand. We can't expect a country like South Africa that has to be like a country of example, that we are proud of. Okay, we see them expanding, we see them, the businesses, the South African businesses expanding across Africa. We are happy. We try to make sure we use African products, we watch South African TV stations and all those things, MTN, we use MTN across Africa because we know it's South African. That's why South Africans don't understand that Africans are doing that because they know it's South African. Okay, sometimes people do things you don't understand that, we are Africans and we understand that we have to promote our own brothers' businesses. Okay, that's why what is happening now is become very, very strange. This is not new. This is not first time. This is not the second time that this xenophobic ideology is going around. But the consequences of this action is what these guys don't understand. The government should let them know. The only person that I've seen him condemning this time and again is Julius Malema. Because you understand that the South Africa cannot stay on its own. The relationship South Africa has with other countries, diplomatically, economically, politically, all these relationships can go in ruins in one day. When they close their borders, they cut ties and all that. Okay, South Africa has embassies in all these countries because they have relationship with these countries. So it's nothing like, we don't want to talk much about the history.
Ghana, if I say I don't respect you guys, I'm lying. I respect you guys so much, because what is this? Why are you guys so calm? I don't know if I wish. Anyway, every country has its own different, the way they act. But reporting SA to African Union was just the best. It was just the best. I will give it to President Mahama for doing that. That was a good decision, because now peacefully, this whole issue of xenophobic and the rest attack is going to be resolved amicably. Because the last thing we need in this Africa is for two African countries to fight each other when we are one. We are one, brothers and sisters. So the step which Ghanaians have taken to sort these attacks on Ghanaians in South Africa is just the best. So kudos to you guys. The thing is that the African Union should act fast, because many African countries are getting weary of how South Africa has been treating its citizen, which is not fair. Because before they became other citizens, they are also humans. They are people's father, people's mother, people's children. So humanity should be treated well. And I'm very sure that some countries will also report to the United Nations, because some of them, some foreigners are being treated badly, which is manning humanity to man. So these bodies should rise up and try to resolve this problem, because we don't want fighting. All we want in Africa is peace and harmony and unity. It is enough that we have been colonized for years. Now the country is ours. We should live amicably. So kudos to you, Ghana. Kudos to your government. Well done, Ghana. Well done. Thank you guys for watching today's episode. I'll see you on my next episode. Bye for now.